Hello my friends, David Kessler here and welcome back to the studio. I was fortunate just recently to be a juror for Artist Magazine's 36th annual art competition for the abstract painting category. Saw some amazing paintings, absolutely wonderful, and a few that, were not as good as I might have thought. And I get lots of questions from students and other artists, what do jurors look for when they're, choosing paintings for competitions? And it's pretty simple for me. I mean, I look for certain things that I know good painters know. And here's what I look for. Really, it's shape, value, color, and composition. So let's start with the first one, shape. Shape or shapes. Everything in a painting is a shape, and good painters know how to interlock and overlap and make good shapes. That's one of the things that really separates good painters from amateur painters, is this ability to create shapes in a painting that are interesting, different sizes, interlocking, overlapping, interesting shapes. Right? That's number one for me. Number two is the value, the difference between light and dark, the degree of light and dark. Does the artist have the grasp of how to make lighter areas and darker areas and bring that contrast together to make an interesting painting? And all the ones that I recall that I put in the top, award winners for that one, all had amazing values and really great shapes. Okay. Thirdly, for me, is color. Does the artist have a grasp on using color? Is the color harmonious? Is there a color combination in there? Do the colors work together and reinforce each other, or do they work against each other? And there's all kinds of, theories on how to use color, and everybody's got a different approach and a different way to use color in a painting, and I understand that. But I look for, do the colors go together? Do they work harmoniously together to support each other in the painting? Number four would be composition. Is there an interesting composition to the painting? Does it initiate movement? Does it allow my eye to move through it? Or do I have to hop and skip and jump around the composition to view it? And all of these things are so subjective. I mean, whoever's going to look at these things, whoever it is that's going to be the judge or the juror, is going to view paintings differently. And no matter who the juror is, the results would be different, because everybody doesn't look for the same thing. But I think overall there has to be the recognition of competency as a painter. And I think all of these things that I mentioned, shape, value, color, and composition, come into play regardless of who the juror is. Now, some are going to put more weight on some things, and other jurors are going to say, well, that doesn't matter, and this is more important for me. Some are going to, if they're realistic painters, they may tend toward realistic, or if they're looser painters, they may tend toward something that's looser. I don't know. It's completely individual. It's completely different depending on who the juror is. But I think there's this overall competency. Does the artist have a grasp of shapes and values and color and composition and movement and energy, and does it address the viewer and how the viewer views the painting? There are a lot of really interesting things that you can look for in these paintings, and I get a kick out of jurying shows because it's always so interesting to see what people come up with, what they paint, how they paint, the techniques they use, the media they use. I mean, I just love doing jury duty, so to speak, for arts organizations I mean, it's just so much fun to do it. It's so much fun to see what people are doing and how wonderful some painters are. I mean, it's fantastic, the talent that's out there, and I never get bored with it. I never cease to be just blown away by what people are producing, and it's fun. It's fun for me to look through these paintings and see what other people are doing, you know, and to see the grasp and the amazing, you know, talent and knowledge that there is out there for painting. So keep at it, right? If you're trying to get into shows, if you're just beginning to get into shows, you know, learn the fundamentals. Learn how to take those fundamentals and implement those in your work. That's what's going to help you get to the next level. That's what's going to help you get into a show, is learning the fundamentals, learning how to master those fundamentals. And shape, value, and color and composition are all basic fundamentals. If you can master those, implement those in your work, you're going to be far ahead of a lot of painters, particularly amateur painters that are entering competitions. So that's my advice to you. If you want to get in some shows, you know, make sure your paintings look professional. You know, if they're framed, make sure the frames look great and they're, you know, the edges meet and they're not torn up, or they're not, you know, made by somebody that doesn't know how to make frames. But most of all, you know, show your competency as a painter, right? If you have trouble doing figures or something, figures are difficult, people. If you're not a really, 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 really good figurative painter, don't put figurative work into a competition, right? Because it's real easy to see who paints good figurative work and who doesn't, right? It's really easy to see. It may not be easy for you to see, but for people like me, it's really easy. So figurative work, I would say completely stay away from that unless that's really what you specialize in, because it's very difficult. All right, I hope this video was helpful for you. You know, subscribe if you like the video at the bottom with the red button. Share it with your friends if you think it's worth that and you think they would get some benefit from it. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.